Thank you. This paper is co-authored together with Kai Håkon Christensen from Norway. And we address new approach to developing integrated milestones for planning and production control. The outline of the presentation, something about the background, and what is a little special here, we jump very quickly to our proposal or conclusion before we are reasoning and making the argument. What triggered this paper is observation from practice, where we can see a new approach to how to develop milestones is being in use. And we also have some opinions about that, how milestones are being developed, both in the last planner system and in a more conventional project management is quite there is space there to be developed further. And the research question then is how to identify a method for development of process-oriented milestones in a front end of project management. And we apply design science research, and the artifact we like to reach or to create is this very method of how to create process-oriented milestones. And as mentioned, it's inspired from practice, especially from a Norwegian project, constructing a Bergen Academy of Art and Design, and we have been doing some literature review regarding both IGLC papers, conventional project management literature, and the more strategic oriented project management literature. A theory that's project management, lean construction, TFV theory, to mention something. Then I jump to our proposal, our artifact. That is the argument that we should move from activity-based work breakdown structure-oriented milestones planning to more pull-based networks of sequential dependent deliveries. Also, a move from work breakdown structure approach to delivery approach, what to be achieved in projects. And this is also an expansion of the pull-based reverse scheduling in the last planner system to a more network approach. Here we do have an illustration of our approach, our proposal for method. We have divided into three core processes in this illustration: design, procurement, and client processes. And we have divided into front-end phase, detailed design phase, and construction phase. And in this network diagram, if we start with the construction here, before you start construction, you need to have work documentation, drawings, etc., 3D model BIM from design. And design also need to deliver to procurement. So procurement can deliver material to the production process. And we can take this backwards in several steps, which also include the client and user processes. If we illustrate this network diagram in a bar chart or a Gantt diagram, it will look like something like this. You can see here it's very much more difficult to see the structure, the interdependencies between the different deliveries. This we can regard as a flow of milestones. And related to this visualization, this diagram, of course, we need to document the different milestones, describe them, what is the input, what's the activity, what is the output, what is the delivery, and due date. It's not necessary that you read the content here, but what is important is the more principles. And if I address more the detail, how to develop this process-oriented, pull-oriented milestones, we have made 5 points here. Identify all core processes and dedicate one owner for each core process. And we need to limit the number of milestones to make it possible to handle it. From experience, 15 to 20 milestones per core process could be a relevant number. And third, find a logical sequence for the minor milestones. Between the main milestones, we need to have some sub-milestones. It's a hierarchy of milestones, if you like. Then we can apply pull scheduling, like in the reverse scheduling in the last planner system. And fourth, identify the network and logical sequence between those minor or sub-milestones in all core processes. And of course, establish the basic information for each milestones, input, output, activity, etc., like I illustrated in this table before. Okay, then I go to how do we reach this conclusion or proposal. We have been through IGLC-oriented literature, and typically also in the last planner system, milestones are taken more or less as given. It's not really envisaged a method how to create them. However, in a paper in 2016, Ballard and Tomlin address pull scheduling as important. And when we go to the traditional project management literature, work breakdown structure is dominating the picture. We need to go to more strategy-oriented project management literature to find what we are looking for. There we can find a network approach and the focus on delivery, the outcome of the projects, not start with work breakdown structure in front end. This is a picture from a reverse scheduling process in the last planner, and This is very fruitful for many purposes, but what is a challenge here? And this is a quite simple example. It could be much more complex. That is to see the structure. What is the interdependencies here? Of course, on one line is for one trade, one discipline is quite easy to read, but when it's come between the different disciplines, input and output, it could be quite complex and almost impossible to read. And this is frequently also work breakdown structure based. In the strategy product management literature, we find argument like activity planning is hazardous in the early stages. And it's argued that milestones are much more robust than activities in a plan, which is more easily changed. And focus at front end on the result that the project is intended to achieve is the solution here. And later, we focus on work breakdown structure. And focus is also to arrange result and sub-results in an optimal sequence, of course. This is an illustration from Andersen et al. 1996. What is to achieve here is B3, and we can illustrate that it's three different processes going on here to achieve B3. It's illustrated as a network. When it comes to this case, which has inspired us, they have divided the core processes. This is a quite complex project. They divided the core processes into 7: product management responsibilities, design, procurement, end users equipment, construction, quality, and economy. They presented their milestone plan as a bar chart. And we argue in the paper visualization is important, so I think it's very much better to have a network diagram to illustrate the interdependencies. Okay, my last slide. And the advice is to think less work breakdown structure in the early phase, front-end planning in product management, and think in terms of delivery. What is going to be delivered? And we argue in the paper that our proposal applies to both the last planner system and more conventional product management. And I remember in January in a workshop in Huddersfield, also Glenn Ballard, one of the founders of last planner system, mentioned that it's called for better methods of how to create milestones in the last planner system. But of course, it's also called for further testing in practice of this system. Thank you.
Thank you, Bote, for